NBC News looked like another really bad day on the stock market. Dow closes down 660 points after Apple's shock warning sends tremors through market. Okay, Apple is blaming their problems on the trade war with China. So from Ford to FedEx and Gucci to GM, Apple is just the latest company to indicate that trade tensions are hitting its bottom line. So another one, y'all, another wave of a sharp turn down on the market Thursday. Today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed sharply down on Thursday as investors digested some of the strongest indicators yet that Donald Trump protectionist policies are having a negative impact on American companies and the broader global economy. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed down 660 points. The broader and S&P fell almost 2.5%, and the tech-heavy NASDAQ was down 3%. Markets were dragged down by Apple's shock announcement that it was slashing its guidance for the most recent quarter. Shares in the tech giant fell almost 10% on Thursday, marking the worst single day loss for the iPhone maker in 6 years. Apple's chief executive officer, Tim Cook, warned Wednesday in a public letter to investors that sales were impacted by a slowdown in China, telling CNBC in an interview that the trade tensions between the United States and China put additional pressure on their economy. Apple made history in 2018 by becoming the first public U.S. company to have a valuation of $1 trillion. Well, I'm not really surprised. Their products have really done well. So I'm not shocked. I'm actually on my third Apple phone, and I also have Android. So, I know their products have done well for a long time. I remember when all of the different iPhones were coming out, crowds would be wrapped around the block just waiting for stores to open so that they could buy it. A crown it quickly lost in the last quarter of the year when shares fell by 30%, or $450 billion, as concerned mount that the latest generation of iPhones would not have the usual robust holiday sales. Very true. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, when I had reported on the stock markets doing poorly during the Christmas holidays, people were hooping and, oh, it's going to bounce back. It's going to bounce back. And I think it bounced back one day, 1,100 points. And I was like, I'm not reporting on that because I know how the market works. It is not going to stay at that level. And lo and behold, it fell 600 points like the very next day. That's why you can't get excited over these bounces because they're very superficial. Let's go down. Tesla has slashed prices on some of its models in China in order to absorb the impact of tariffs, saying that it's currently operating on a 50 to 60% cost disadvantage. On the retail front, Chinese shoppers will account for 45% of the luxury market by 2025, according to one report. A slowdown in the nation's economy would have a widespreading global impact from a nation of 1.4 billion people. China is not the only partner with whom Trump is sparring. He slapped tariffs on imports from the European EU in June, prompting a retaliatory response from the trading bloc that in turn prompted Harley-Davidson to shift production overseas for some of its motorcycles, saying tariffs would add 2,200 to each motorcycle export from the US to the EU. Ongoing trade skirmish between the US and the closest trading partners began late summer when Trump imposed a 25% tariff on steel and aluminum imported from China to punish that country for what the White House considered to be unfair trade practices. They're playing chicken so far. I don't see anybody blinking, says Michael O'More, an economic professor at George Washington University. Many businesses are quite afraid about where this is all going. Yes, I can tell you where it's going. It's going to be a lot of people looking for work. Okay. Don't think for one moment because at the G20, the recent G20 meeting between China and the US having a meeting there, and they said they're going to pretty much call a truce, this stuff is going to kick back up again. It is. And the economy is going in the direction of a recession. There's no doubt about it. The market is not going to keep losing points like this over and over, and you're not going to see the impact and fallout from this on the streets of America, because you will. And many of the economists are saying this is turning into a bear market. Okay, so folks are already predicting a recession, and I really believe it will happen. We are going into a recession under Trump. But please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Another bad day on the stock market. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.